Let's count how many defects are in this electrical panel. It's a very small electrical panel. You wouldn't think there'd be very much, but there's a surprising number of errors in here. First up, we've got the double neutrals, meaning there's a neutral and a ground wire under a single screw. I know electricians love to say that this was allowed in the past. Well, this time it was not. You always go to the manufacturer's requirements, and there is no indication that you can have two neutrals or a neutral and a ground under a single screw. You can have two equipment grounds. You cannot have two grounded conductors. There's a difference between a grounded and a grounding conductor. So that was wrong at the time of installation. Okay, missing connectors. Got a bunch of wires going through a single opening, but there's no PVC conduit, there's no connector, there's no grommet, there's nothing. Same thing for the feeders coming in. You cannot have any type of wire or cable go through a metal opening without some type of connector or grommet. Okay, we've got, check our breaker amperage, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 30, 20. Well, all of these wires have a yellow jacket, which means they're all 12 gauge, which is good for 20 amps. So this, we know automatically that that is going to be oversized. Let's visually verify. And yes, that's definitely undersized, or rather the breaker is oversized by 10 amps. That's an issue. Needs to be lowered. And then lastly that I see, that bonding screw is not properly in there. That bonding screw is supposed to thread into the back of the panel and connect the panel to the ground system. If it was properly secured, it would not be spinning like that. It's not threading in. Either it's not long enough or it's not the proper thread type, or maybe both. That's all that I'm able to see at this time. However, I'll point out it's a 3-wire feed, meaning 2 hots and a neutral that acts as a ground. That's not allowed anymore. However, that was allowed at the time of installation. The double neutrals was wrong, but the 3-wire feed was allowed at the time of installation. You could tell this is cloth wiring. Back then it was always a 3-wire feed. So that's more common for older installations. You could upgrade, of course, but that in itself is not a defect. The uninsulated neutral, depending on the year, that may have been a violation, but that's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. But these other things, they were wrong at the time, and they should be corrected.